In this part of the PHP tutorial, we will give an overview of session variables and how we can use session variables in PHP. So typically we use session variables in order to send or store data between two different web pages. Unlike a cookie, the information in a session variable is not stored on your user's computer. Session variables are very handy in web development in general. I guess all web frameworks have these session variables. You have to know that session variables typically hold information only for a single user. So information that are stored in a session variable is only available for you in your default session when using your web browser. And this information are only stored for a limited time. Typically after 20 minutes the session variable will be restored. But typically the limit 20 minutes is something that you can configure on your web server. I will demonstrate the use of session variables through some simple examples. So here you see the first example. In this example we are going to create two different PHP pages, one that are writing to the session variable and one that is reading the session variable. So here let's start with this. You can call the file whatever you like, but here session_write example.php. So in the beginning of the file you typically need to start the session, so then there's a built-in function in PHP called session_start that you need to use. And then somewhere in your code, in your PHP code, it could be anywhere in the page. Typically here in this example I'm setting or creating a session variable using this built-in feature where you have this $_session, just like you have this underscore post and get. You have also similar functionality for session variables. So you use this $_session and name of the variable and then the value. So in this case I'm going to create a session variable called password and give it the following value, password 123. And then when the session variable is set, you should be able to read that session variable in another page. So here we have created a second PHP page called session_read etc.php, and here in the beginning we need to use this session start, and here I can read the information stored in this session variable. So then I just use $_session and the name of the variable, and then the value of this session variable will be put into this local variable. And then somewhere else in the code I can use that variable like this. The password is here, and then I will enter or show the password on the web page. So let's create this basic example step by step. So then let's start creating the session write page. So I just copy this index file that we have created earlier in the Hello World application, use that as a starting point, make a copy and just change the name, and then I can call it in this example session write example, something like that. Then I double click it and open it in my Visual Studio Code editor, and then here in the beginning we need to create some PHP code. So then I just use this PHP and this PHP end tag, and then here we need to start the session by using this built-in function session_start like this and a semicolon. So now we are ready to start using these session variables. Then somewhere in the code here, typically here inside the body, I can define this a session variable. So then I just use the $_session like this and equals to Of course, I need to have specify the name of the session variable. In this case, password. So here you can enter whatever you like for the name of your variable, and then we need to specify the value for this this session variable. So then I just type to be password 123 and a semicolon like this. So now this session write should be finished. Now I can just copy that one to create this session read page. Then I create a session read example. I open this one in Visual Studio Code, and then also here in the beginning I need to start this session, and then here in the beginning I just need to read the session variable. So then we just create a local variable. You can call it whatever you like, but in this case password equals to session like this. So now the value that are stored in the session variable will be put into this local variable. And now I can just use this local variable here somewhere in the code, like here. Here I can just create an echo, or using the print echo, and type some text. The password is, and then the name of the variable, like this. Then I can click save. So now we have two files, one session write, where I create the session variable, and one session read, where I actually read this session variable, put it into a local variable, and then just enter the name or the contents of this local variable here on the web page, like this. I save them, I go to my FTP program, this session read and session write, upload it to the server. I go to my local web browser, enter the name here, session write underscore example.php. So spelling mistake here, sessions like this, click enter, and then you don't get any result here, it's just displaying hello world, and then here it just set, in this page, it just set this session variable. So now the session variable should be set to password 123, and then I can go to this second page, this read page. So I just open that one, read, click enter, and then you see the password is password 123, like this. Yeah, I can put that one inside like this or something. And now if I want to change it here, I can just change it to 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. Upload these files to the server, try once more. First I run this session write, and then the session read, and you will see the password has been updated, password 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how you actually use these session variables. Those are very handy to use when you want to pass information from one page to another, like this example. Here I will present a second example where I'm using these session variables. So here in this case I have created 3 different web pages, one web page or PHP file called enter password. This is just a simple web page with a HTML form that we learned in a previous part of this PHP tutorial. So here the user can enter a password and then just click verify. Then it goes to a new web page called verify password. And then if the password is correct, then this link will be available here. Click here to see secret information or something. And then if you click on this link, you will get access to this secret information. In just some stupid example, here is the secret information presented. Your code to the secret locker is 12345. If you enter the wrong password here, you will not get access to this link and not get access to this information. And then we are using session variable to send data between the different web pages. So let's see this example in action. I have already created code to save some time, but here are the 3 different pages: enter password, verify password, and show information. So here, let's start with the enter password, which you see here. Then it just here a header, please enter your password, and then I have created a basic HTML form where you have a text box called password, where the user should enter his password, and then he should just click on the submit button. When he clicks on the button, it goes to a new web page called verify password, which you find here. And here in the beginning, I need to use this session start. Here I'm also using this post functionality, because this is a form, and in order to retrieve the information stored in this text box in this web page, I'm using this post functionality. So I'm using $_post password, and then I put the password into this local variable. Then here in if sentence, if the password is equal to password 123, then I set a variable called authentication. You can call it whatever you like, but this means if the user entered the correct password, which is in this case password 123, I just set a variable called authentication equals to true. And then here later in the code, here are some PHP code. I check if this variable authentication equals to true. If it's equal to true, I just show this information and click on a link to a new page, show information, click here to see the secret information, like this. If authentication variable is not true, it's if false, then I just present no information is available. But if authentication is true, the user can show or click on this hyperlink, show, which just says here, and then it goes to this web page, show information, which I present here. So then here in the beginning, I use this session start. I read the session variable, which I have set here. Session authentication is true, and then I put it here, and then if this is true, here I just use an if else. So if this authentication is set to true, then it presents this secret code to this secret locker, which is 1234. So let's upload these 3 web pages to the server using FTP. Then we have this enter password, verify password, and show information. And now I go to my web browser. This is the previous example. Close this, and then I just enter this new web page called enter password.php, like this. So then please enter your password, and then I write a wrong password, something just crap. Click verify. Then no, since I have written the wrong password, then it just entered no information is available. But if I choose to enter the correct password, which is in this case password 123, click verify, then this link appears. Click here to see the secret information. Then I click, and then a third page shows up, this show information.php, and then it just present the secret code to this secret locker, which is 12345. So this is another example how you can use these session variables like this So here I create a session variable called authentication, set it to true if the password is correct. And then in another web page, I just read this session variable, and then based on this session variable is true or false, I can either then I can choose to show some text if the session variable is true, and if the session variable is false in this case, I can show other information. So these session variables are very handy to use in all kind of web application, because typically in most cases you need to send information between different web pages. Let's summarize. I've created in the last session example number 2, I created 3 different web pages, one for entering password, which you see here. If I or the user enter the correct password, he gets access to this secret link, and when he click on this secret link, he gets access to some secret information only available if you enter the correct password. So this is a handy way to share information between different web pages. And this session variable is a built-in feature in PHP. So in the first web page, enter password, I just created a HTML form in a simple text box where the user can enter the password. When you click the submit button, you go to the next web page, verify password, which you find here. And then here in the beginning of the page or the code, you need to use this session start in order to activate the session variables. And then you can just, in this case, read the password using this post method, because this is inside a HTML form, and those things that you put into the form is available as this post method. So then I can put the password into a variable, and if the variable is equal to the correct, in this case the password is equal to the correct password, I just set a session variable authentication equals to true, and then this link will be also available, show information. And then finally in the show information web page, in the beginning I set or use session start and then read this session variable called authentication, and if this authentication variable is set to true, the user get access to this secret code.